right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mackenzie Shaw, and I am the training assistant here at GROB Systems. Thank you for joining us today on Manufacturing Day. Manufacturing Day occurs each year, and it's an opportunity for manufacturers across the nation to share learning experiences in the hopes of inspiring the next generation about careers in manufacturing. So our hopes today are that you're going to learn a little bit more about GROB and our role in manufacturing, as well as get some details about our apprenticeship program and the opportunities that exist for people who want to get into this industry and start a career here at GROB. So we'll go ahead and get started. Today you're going to hear from three of us here at GROB. We all work in the training department, which is the department that handles our apprenticeship program. Like I said, I'm the assistant for the program, and I help support the program through administrative tasks and also coordinating recruitment for the program. I've been at GROB for a little over 2 years now, and I joined GROB as a recent graduate of Bowling Green State University. I'll let Mark and Evan introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Mark Reed. I am the training supervisor. I've been at GROB since 1992. I was part of the third apprenticeship program to come through the apprenticeship program, third class to come through the program. Prior to being up here in training, I joined the training group in 2018. Before that, I was in final assembly, and since 2007 was the supervisor in final assembly. I was able to move up here to the apprenticeship area and be able to work with our apprentices starting in 2018, and since that point I've gotten to work with some very good kids and a very good staff.
Good afternoon. I'm Evan Steiner, the electrical training instructor here at GROB. So I began at GROB in 2013 in the apprenticeship class. I went through the electrical apprenticeship, touring on the floor, going through many rotations. I ended up in the startup and commissioning department here at GROB. So getting the machines going, installing them at customer facilities. And then 2 years ago, I was given the opportunity to be a part of the training department. So I work day to day with the first and second year electrical apprentices. We do lab experiments, large projects, and classroom work up here.
Okay, so today's presentation, you're going to get to hear from Evan and Mark about the history of our company and what we do here at GROB and what our products are. Then I will take back over and talk about the apprenticeship program and its opportunities, as well as how individuals could apply for next year's class. Then we will show a pre-recorded virtual tour of GROB. This was recorded by a few of our second-year apprentices. And then after the tour, we will hold a Q&A session for any questions. One other note on the questions, through this GoToWebinar, there is a control panel on your screen. There should be a red button with an arrow that opens and closes your control panel. There is a chat feature in there, so if at any time during the presentation you have a question for us, we invite you to go ahead and type your question in there, and then one of us can answer the question as we go. So you can do that at any time, and whichever one of us is not talking can answer that, but you're also welcome to save your questions until the end if you prefer. All right, so we will go ahead and get started with talking about the history of our company.
So one thing that is a big note for us is that GROB is a privately held company. We are not a publicly traded company. We are owned by an individual and a family. The family name is GROB. That's the company name. GROB was founded in Munich, Germany in 1926 by Mr. Ernst GROB. They started by making thread milling machines and some small machining stuff. The headquarters moved to Mindelheim, Germany in 1976 under Dr. Berthard GROB. He took control in 1956. Most of the growth from our company occurred during his tenure. It is, as I said, a family-owned company, and that is a huge benefit for anybody that understands publicly traded versus family-held companies. As a family-held company, they understand how the markets work, and sometimes there's going to be good years and sometimes there's going to be bad years. They are willing to overlook bad years, looking towards the good years, and retain employees and retain talent and do the best that they can possibly do to not have a profit-only mindset where people are just a number. Worldwide, as a company, we have 6,800 employees, and Mr. Christian GROB is now the leader of our company. The GROB Group has 5 production plants and 15 sales and service plants, or branches. In North America, we have Bluffton, Ohio, where we are at currently. We have our apprenticeship program here in our building. We have in all of the manufacturing plants everything from sales all the way through the end installation and service of the machines. Our company headquarters is in Mindelheim, Germany. That is in Bavaria, about an hour to the west of Munich. We also have the second plant that was created in the GROB Group, Sao Paulo, Brazil. And we currently also have China Dalian plant and a plant in Italy, along with several worldwide sales and service offices. This is an overview of our company headquarters in Mindelheim, Germany.
Okay, sounds like it's back.
Okay, sorry about that. Are we back on the sound? If one of you guys would like to send something into chat, if everybody's hearing us okay? Okay. Where exactly did you guys lose us on the sound? can you tell us a slide maybe on the chat?
Germany.
Okay, we will step back to the Germany plant. So again, I'll just go ahead and start with talking about Germany again, and we'll just take it as that being the new start point. Mindelheim, Germany is our parent plant. The plant was opened in 1968 in Mindelheim when it moved from Munich. They have around 4,800 employees. It's a very large campus, covers around 2 city blocks. If you look in the foreground, the plant that's there is around the one building where the mouse is showing is about the same size as our facility here in Bluffton. So we have around 600 employees. They've got a lot more, but it just gives you a scale, I guess, when you look at the next slides for our building and stuff. So in this slide, we're seeing Sao Paulo, Brazil, which was the second manufacturing facility in the GROB group. It was opened in 1956. Currently employs around 550 employees. Then you have Bluffton, Ohio. Our facility started here on site in 1983 as a glider and aircraft repair facility for the GROB team. Dr. GROB's hobby was airplanes, and he also had a company that manufactured airplanes. We currently do not have anything to do with that anymore. Our plant itself for the manufacturing the machine tool opened in 1990, and we are currently around 580 employees. Dalian, China, the third plant in the GROB group opened, or I guess the fourth plant in the GROB group opened in 2012. They currently employ nearly 700 employees. And Turin, Italy is our latest addition to the manufacturing facilities. They actually specialize more in making e-mobility equipment, so electric motors for cars and stuff like that. That's a market that we are expanding into.
All right, so this is Evan back with you. I'm going to talk a little bit about our product line. So one thing about GROB that's a little unique, here in our facility, we are only manufacturing equipment that will be torn down and taken to another company for them to use. So we're not running high productions of parts here. We're only making the parts and assembling the systems that we're selling to our customers. So on the page before you are many of the customers that we deal with. I'd say right now on the floor we have machines for Honda, for John Deere, for Harley Davidson. Some of the heavy hitters in the auto industry we do a lot of work with, so Ford and GM, Chrysler. And then there's some other smaller companies that we're making some strides with, such as Kawasaki, a Japanese company doing business with a German company here in the States. That was a big advantage for us here in the recent years. We've had some really good contracts with Tesla recently. We have people out there currently installing some machinery for them, and our German facility is installing machinery in Germany for Tesla as well. So we're very diversified across the auto industry. Another portion of our business goes to machinery that's sold to more unique customers. So we're trying to get away from the automobile industry as being our core business because it fluctuates so much that it's hard to predict the future. So the more we can get out of purely automotive components and get into the aerospace industry, the medical industry, that allows us to have work in times when the auto industry is struggling. So some of the cool things on this sheet, if you look under the medical technology section, we worked and sell machines to a company out of Indiana that they make some very interesting medical tools. They also make replacement joints. So you break a hip, we can cut you a new femur out of titanium on a GROB machine. So a lot of things you wouldn't naturally think of. Our core business is revolving around machining centers. So the picture in the upper right, this is a G module, part of our G series of machines. So this is a high volume output machining center. It has 5-axis capacity, so it's able to make some very complicated cuts It can orient the part in many fashions in which a normal machine could not be able to. A machine like that is going to be put in place at a customer site, and it's going to cut the same part every day, 24 hours a day, until it's completely worn out or they discontinue that product line. That's kind of the workhorse of our systems. The picture in the lower right is a universal machine. So it's designed for front loading. So there's a door in which an operator can load parts in and out. These machines are sold to what we'd call a job shop, a smaller business. They have a more unique product run. They need the flexibility that our machine offers, but they don't need to make hundreds of thousands of parts per year. So they get the complexity and the technical advance that a GROB machine offers, but in one package. So this is what the guts of a G machine look like. So the top image, or the top arrow pointing to the tool magazine, the tooling is what is actually taking material away from the part. So in our latest generation of machines, it's this rotary disc. Kind of looks like the blades on a helicopter up above the machine, and it spins in that orientation. So this is what we load all the tools in. That interacts with the spindle of the machine. So it has a very rapid tool change process. Then the motorized spindle is the part that actually clamps onto that tool, spins it sometimes up to 18,000 RPMs for certain materials, and is doing the work of cutting the part. So the spindle is contained in the cross slide assembly, we would call it. So it moves about 3 axes just in that position. The spindle comes in and out of its housing and then moves left to right on that axis. And then the last part is the tilting rotary table. This is where the part is affixed. That can spin about 2 rotary axes and then vertically on the y-axis. There's some very cool videos on our GROB channel on YouTube that would give you a better grasp of how these machines operate. I would highly encourage you to look at that. We've tried to show that through the webinar, but the latency is a little slow. But if you have free time, I would strongly recommend that. And some of the other items we can provide a customer with would be assembly systems. So an assembly line is where we're going to take parts, we're going to combine them, put in cut plugs, bolts, run bolts down to certain torques. There's cells that have cameras that inspect parts. So camera's able to go in, take images, and make sure it conforms to the specifications. Sometimes these cells are very complicated. So there's a lot more engineering work and electrical startup and debug time in a system like this. So for Tesla recently, we've put in some lines where we're looking at the electric motor, we're putting certain components of it together, we're taking images, verifying everything's been put together right. It moves on to the next station and has a variety of processes done to it there as well. So these jobs are very unique. Customers have wild desires that they want from us, so we have to come up with some very interesting concepts, and it's really cool if you ever are able to take a tour here to see some of the assembly machines our engineers are able to dream up to fulfill our customers' needs. We also make gantries and conveyor systems, which move the parts along through a system. And since buying the electric motor facility in Italy, we're now getting into stator winding machines, which is kind of exciting. It's a new technology, and I feel like it's a good push for keeping us relevant in the years to come. Here shown on the screen is just a layout of the entire process that a line would have to go through. So a customer is going to come to us with a desire. They're going to say, I need to run 500,000 cylinder heads in a year, and I need the equipment to do so. So we're going to make some original designs. We're going to do some prototyping. Our sales department's going to crunch the numbers on what this would cost that company. It'll go through the full engineering process. Every single part, fastener, motor, drive, it's all considered. Then we begin to produce it here in-house. We try to say we're vertically integrated, so almost everything that goes into a GROB machine is built here at GROB. So our machine shop makes all of the parts, our sub-assembly people put the parts together, our final assembly people verify that the machines work as they should, and then they go out and install it at the customer. And then kind of post-sales, we do training with our customers so they can adequately run their machinery, and we provide service to those machines. This is an image of what a machining line could look like. So this is, I believe, in an Audi plant in Germany. So all of those individual white squares you see are G modules. They're connected by overhead gantries. There are robots feeding the parts into the system. There's various assembly cells along the way which will inspect the parts and do leak test operations to verify there's no porosity or cracking in the castings. So this, I believe, would be the line I referenced. It's going to be able to output 500,000 parts a year. And this would probably be 300 feet long for each of those rows. So it takes up a large footprint of a factory to be able to do that. And the customer will maybe be able to use this line for 7 to 10 years.
Okay, so that sort of covers about the company background and the product line here at GROB. So we're going to sort of switch gears and focus on our apprenticeship program. If you have any questions about any of the previous slides, don't hesitate to put that in the chat feature, and Evan can be on standby to answer your questions about that. But Mark's going to start out by talking about a couple of our other staff members that are included in the program, and then I'll take over from there.
So our training staff consists of the three of us that you have met, me, Mark, Evan, and Mackenzie. We also have another two staff members for the training. Mike Hawk is our mechanical training instructor. Mike joined us here at GROB in 1996 as a machinist. He worked his way up into being a supervisor in the machine shop, and in 2003 he was moved over into the apprenticeship. And he has been training apprentices since 2003. He is an excellent machinist, and he gives very valuable insights into just how machines work and what people need to do and what they need to understand to do the job they need to do. Dean Kales is the other member of our training group. Dean was an electrical controls engineer at Ford. He worked at Ford for 30 years and moved on from there and became an industry liaison with the College of Engineering at ONU, Ohio Northern University. He was there for a couple years, and then he came and joined us, and he takes care of a lot of the coordination with Road State and dealing with our students going down there to school. He works hand in hand with the administrator at Rhodes for our apprenticeship program there, and daily deals with the apprentices on how their schoolwork's going and everything else like that. It's a big benefit for somebody going and getting their associate's degree. We have somebody on staff that's looking after them and kicking them around a little bit if they're not putting in the effort they need to at school, and just making sure that they understand how seriously they need to be taking every aspect of it. It's not just working here at work, it's also the schoolwork that they've got to take care of. One thing we like to point out is our staff as a whole has over 100 years combined of industry experience. I think it's going to be very hard to find that kind of experience in another company where the training group is able to put that kind of experience behind what they're passing on to the kids in the apprenticeship program. It's a very valuable tool for us to use the mistakes that we've made over our lives and the experiences we've had and things we've figured out, and be able to share that with a lot of younger employees that are just starting out and trying to keep them from having to learn things the hard way like we had to.
I think just that alone goes to show how important this program is to our company. Apprenticeship programs have been a very vital part of the growth of our company. We hired apprentices from our original Munich plant in the 1920s, and now we have well-established apprenticeship programs at each of our production facilities worldwide. So we're going to focus on the program here in Bluffton. Our common goal for the program is to grow our future workforce from within the company. So through an apprenticeship, we are able to train apprentices in the way that matches the growing needs of our customers and products. And investing in our employees early means that we're giving them all the right tools to be successful here at GROB, and also allows them to become the highly skilled technicians and employees that we need in every department. Our program started here in 1990, and we have hired and trained over 380 apprentices. Right now, our total workforce, 40% of that is made up of past and current apprentices, and our apprentices can be found across multiple departments within our company, from the machine shop to the panel shop to final assembly to marketing to sales and proposals. Our apprentices are all over making an impact within the company. We've also had several past apprentices go on to become leaders within the company. So we have our chief production officer, 2 managers, 10 supervisors, and 11 foremen who are all currently, they were past apprentices and now are in leadership positions. So we offer 2 types of apprenticeship paths through our program, a mechanical and electrical path. And this 4-year program includes on-the-job training here in Bluffton, hands-on learning experiences, and also a college education. The GROB apprentices are currently registered at Rhodes State College in Lima, and so they will receive a company-paid associate degree during the course of the program. Electrical apprentices will receive an electronic engineering technology degree, and the mechanical apprentices will receive a manufacturing engineering technology degree. So that tuition is paid for 100% by GROB, and the only cost to the apprentices are their textbooks and their transportation and gas costs to get to class. So how the class schedule works is that 3 days per week they will come to GROB and train in our facility and learn all the technical skills that they're going to need for their jobs here. And then 2 days a week they attend class at Rhodes and work towards that degree. They are paid a full 40-hour week even while they are attending class at Rhodes. We require them to be in class for 4.5 hours to account for an 8-hour day. So they will be paid that entire time. So as a new apprentice at GROB, they go through what we call our basic training. So that occurs during the first few months as a new GROB apprentice. Each apprentice goes through both a mechanical and an electrical rotation to learn all the basic skills that would be required for both rotations. So they spend about 8 weeks in a mechanical, and then they flip and do 8 weeks in an electrical. So this allows them to experience both pathways before determining what path they want to follow here. Each rotation includes a variety of hands-on projects and some classroom curriculum that is taught at GROB by Mike and Evan. They also receive an overview of the various career opportunities that are here at GROB should they follow either path. So our instructors and our supervisor, they do a really good job of taking the apprentices on a really deep dive tour of GROB and show them all of the departments that they could end up working in here should they choose to go mechanical or electrical, and they describe each path, and that really helps the apprentices determine their ideal pathway here. So after the apprentices have decided mechanical or electrical, they will spend the rest of their first year here in our apprenticeship area further developing those technical skills in either the mechanical or the electrical labs. So this is a combination of classroom learning and a variety of hands-on projects that are led by our training instructors. After their first year and the start of year 2, they will begin rotating through various mechanical and electrical departments in our facility. So they're going to learn the skills that are needed to be successful in each of those departments. They're going to discover what areas interest them the most, and they'll also have an opportunity to learn from and work alongside experienced employees on the plant floor. It takes about 2.5 years for the apprentices to complete their associate's degree at Rhodes. So sometime in that 3rd year, they will receive their degree, and then the rest of their time is going to be spent in a specialized training route. So apprentices will be placed into our regular workforce in a specific department to continue their training. So their schooling will be done, and they're going to be working 5 days per week in their new department. And placement in those departments are based on their interest, their performance, because they're constantly being evaluated during those rotations in year 2, and then also just based on company need at the time. They will also continue to accrue on-the-job training hours, and this is important because the apprentices will also receive a state-recognized Journey Person's card, and that is as an industrial machinist system technician. So they'll get the Journey Person's card along with the associate's degree through the program. As an apprentice, they are considered full-time employees, so they have access to our full-time benefits. This includes an opportunity to start saving for their retirement. We have a 401k company match of 3%, and that's up to 6%. And then our company also finds work-to-life balance very important. Our apprentices will be working first shift, which is Monday through Friday, 7 to 3:30. And they also get paid time and a half if they work overtime. We do have one department that is on second shift, which is our machine shop. So if an apprentice is interested and is placed in the machine shop in year 3, there's a possibility that they would be going to second shift. However, the majority of our departments here at GROB are on the first shift schedule. We also receive 12 paid holidays, vacation, and sick days. And then the company also provides 100% company paid health insurance premiums, which is a very big deal. So we have medical, vision, and dental coverage, and those premium costs are not coming out of our paychecks every 2 weeks. Of course, the company paid associate's degree, and then all required tools are provided by the company. Uniforms are provided each year. And then the company also reimburses up to $160 towards new work shoes each calendar year. And then another unique feature of working at GROB is that we also receive free daily lunches in the GROB Cafe. So we have a fairly new building and a brand new cafe with a staff that provides several lunch choices each day. You can choose a hot meal or a salad, like is pictured in this slide. And so it is a very great benefit for us. We don't have to pack our lunches. We don't have to pay for them. It's a really great benefit we all enjoy. On the investment side, so our company invests a lot in the apprentices. Part of that investment are their wages. We start our apprentices at $15 an hour in year 1, and then they get yearly pay increases during the program. So year 2, they go to $16 an hour. Year 3, they go to $18 an hour. But as soon as their associate's degree is complete, they will go up to the hourly rate that is their department base, so potentially higher. So with all the added benefits that our company does provide, such as the college tuition and the cost of our health insurance and the lunches and the boots and the insurance, the savings match, we estimate that apprentices, our total package, are probably making closer to $25 at the end of the day in year 1, counting their wage. So it is a very great program, especially for those just coming out of high school, but also certainly a livable wage for those who have been out of school for a while. So our company finds community service and giving back in the community very important. Every year we try to find different needs within the village and the surrounding communities for us to get involved. So this past year, our first year apprentices were painting fire hydrants for the village of Bluffton. Last year, we participated in Rhode State College's Youth Manufacturing Summer Camp, and a bunch of our third-year apprentices were there helping 4th through 6th graders learn some basic soldering skills. We also do quite a bit of team building here at GROB. Our apprentices are coming from all over the place. We have apprentices that drive an hour away to get here to work every day, and so a lot of them don't know each other. So we create opportunities, different team building activities throughout the first 2 years for them to start getting to know each other better and to learn to work together and communicate with each other as a team. GROB is very good about opening up their doors and offering opportunities for people to learn more about the apprenticeship program, as we think it's really important for people to experience GROB and know that this is what they want to do. So one of the things that we do are open house tours during the school year. So these occur on select Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. It includes a presentation very similar to the one that you're listening to now, and then plant tours that are led by our current apprentices. So all of our current apprentices are trained as tour guides, and it's a great opportunity for you to get to hear what GROB does and see what GROB does from them and get to talk to them about what it's really like to be an apprentice here. We are offering a couple of tours still in 2020 if you are interested in coming in to see what we're doing in person. These will happen on November 7th and December 5th. Registration is required this year due to COVID. We are limiting each tour to only 30 people, but you can go on our website and we have a registration link for you to claim some free tickets if you're interested in that. We also offer opportunities for individuals who would like to come in and job shadow. So this would be an entire day that you spend at GROB shadowing our mechanical and electrical apprentices. We can also do a plant tour while you are here if you've never been in here, and then of course you'd also get to try the lunches in our cafe. So GROB hires a new class of apprentices each June. To apply, applicants must be a high school graduate, they must have their GED, or they must be a high school senior who will graduate in the spring. We opened our application site on September 8th, and it will remain open for this year until February 28th. So that gives a good amount of time for people to learn more about the program and decide this is what they want to apply for and to get those applications in. So how our application process works is that interested candidates will complete an online application at joingrob.com/apprentice. You will upload your resume and your transcript to the online application. So this could be your most recent high school transcript. It could also be a college transcript if you have that. The online application allows you to upload a maximum of 2 transcripts. So GROB would review all those documents and they would send select candidates to testing at Rhodes State College. So the aptitude testing includes a college math placement test that's going to tell us what class you would place into there at Rhodes if you get into the program. There's also a couple of hands-on exercises and some mechanical and electrical aptitude testing. So that occurs at Rhodes, and then Rhodes would send us the results. Our team would review them, and then we'd send select candidates to the interviewing stage. And then the last stage is in-person interviews at GROB with our team, and after that, we will be making our final hiring decisions for the 2021 class. So some of the qualities that we're looking for in candidates who are interested in the program are individuals who have a strong work ethic and have a willingness to learn. This is probably the biggest quality we're looking for. It's not necessary that you have mechanical and electrical experience because we're certainly willing to teach you. That's why we have a staff of 5 people who are here to support you and teach you all the basics that you're going to need to be successful here at GROB. We also look at attendance and grades on the transcript during the application process. So those are very important qualities to us, and we are paying for a college education, so it is important to us to know that you're going to be able to succeed at that level. And then we also look for candidates who enjoy working with their hands. You might also enjoy this program if you like math and problem solving, who are pretty big components of this as well in the curriculum. And then we're also looking for somebody who wants to build a career with us here at GROB. As you can probably tell, this program, we spend a lot of money to run this program, so we're looking for individuals who want to build a career with us and are very interested in this industry and staying here. So that was it for the apprenticeship section. If you have any questions that you want to put in the chat box about any of that, feel free. In the meantime, we are going to open up the virtual facility tour. This was pre-recorded by some of our second-year apprentices, so you'll get to meet them. It's about a 12-minute long video, so we will get that started. If anybody's experiencing any issues with the audio, don't hesitate to put that in the chat. And if you have any questions after the tour, we'll also have time for that as well.
Hi, my name's Cody. I'm a second-year apprentice here at GROB, and I'm going to give you a tour of our facility today. This area here, this is our machine shop. This is where we'll take our raw materials and we'll put them into our machines, and we'll mill them down and get them ready for the sub-assemblies. Behind me here, you can see the laser. This will take sheet steel and cut it out into the shapes that we desire to be bent into cabinet doors or anything else for our machines. We're now working our way into the electrical area. This is where we have multiple cords and various electrical components, and those will all get sent out on carts down on the floor to be used on the machines as well. Over here is our panel shop. This is where we do all the wiring for our machines. We'll start with a blank slate, put in all the hardware, and then route all the wires. Behind me here, we've got tool changers, tool magazines, spindles, and machine tables, and those are all sub-assemblies built and ready to be put in machines. Right here is one of our machining lines. You'll load a raw piece of material in here, and an overhead gantry will take it from machine to machine and start at one process, and then at the end it will all be done. This line will get shipped out along with employees and be set up in a factory for the customer. Behind me, we've got our standalone machine bases. This is just a good look at the frame of the structure. This is all before we have our electrical components and hydraulics. Here you can see all the components put together on the base of the machine. We've got the spindle, the table, and the tool magazine up above. This is kind of a good look at the inside of a machine, all the wiring and plumbing that's been done. This is our showroom. This is where we keep all of our standalone machines for customers to come in, take a look, and really see how they work. Here you can see this is just a dry cycle of the machine running, so it's not actually cutting anything, but it's a good demonstration on how they work. Over here is our showroom. This is where we showcase some of the products that we've made on our machines. Here is a pretty famous one, the basketball net. That video can be found on YouTube. That was cut on a G350 out of a solid piece of aluminum, and then it was milled down and programmed to have all the little weaves and wires in the net there. Along with that, we've got things like engine blocks and engine heads. We've got transmission parts, and behind me here we've got electric motor parts. So our machines are very versatile and can do many tasks. Behind me here is the spindle room. This room is very critical that it's kept clean and dry. The spindle is a very important part of the machine, and that's where they go to get assembled and tested. Here we're taking a look at our quality control room. This room is actually pressurized to keep dirt and moisture out. That way we don't have any issues when it comes to measuring our critical parts. That was a brief tour of our facility. Now we'll take a closer look in the apprenticeship area and see what goes on. Over here behind me, you can see we've got first year apprentices. They're working hard in the classroom, doing the book activities. After the classroom, you'll learn some of the basics of manufacturing. So we'll start here at the drill press. Here you can see Sammy's countersinking some holes, and that's a crucial part for making bolt alignments right and assembling things. This here is a entry-level CNC machine. It's only 3-axis, and it's used to help you learn programming without jumping right into a bigger mill. What we're looking at here is a manual lathe. This is one of the first projects that you'll learn after you progress from the filing project. This just teaches you the basics of how a lathe works, how it moves, and how to measure parts and make them precise. Now we're going to go talk to some of the other apprentices and see what they're up to.
Hi, I am Joey Carver. I am a second apprentice here at GROB, and I'll be showing you some of the benchwork projects and some of the manual mill projects that we do here around in the apprenticeship area. So this is our benchwork area. We each have a certain station with toolboxes. We'll be doing various projects from filing to hand drilling. One of the projects here is our slide project. This is the finished product of what it looks like. So right here is our raw stock material. We're able to take this material and use our skills at the benchwork, our manual mill, our manual lathe, and the drill press to eventually end up and turn out the final project. So during this, we are given a booklet with all of our prints and our quality control checks in it. So first we have here is our overall blueprint with just shows you how to put it together and where parts go where. Next is our individual blueprints where we have to follow specifications and tolerances of where we will machine to. And next is, so at the end of when we finish machining, we have a quality control check where we have to measure certain parts of it, where they have to be in certain tolerances. And also, during this entire project, we have to answer key questions pertaining to the project and help us understand what we're doing. That's mostly of what we do around here in our benchwork area. So these two machines right here are manual mill machines. They take many different type of cutters, end mills, drills, reamers up in here, and we clamp down our work. It's able to make any of our parts that we saw over in the slide project. And after each part, we have to take it out and measure it, and then to certain tolerances, and then have our supervisors check it. That is a basic overview of what we do around in the benchwork in our manual mill.
Hello, my name is Connor Hurston, and today I'm going to show you the CNC lathe. This lathe uses conversational programming, and when running this lathe, we learn how to program our tool paths and set our tools. This machine is the G350. This is a 5-axis machine made by GROB. When we use this machine in the training area, we learn how to program using basic G-code manually. We also learn how to set up our tools and find our offsets. So hi there, my name is Grant. I'm a second-year apprentice here at GROB Systems. We're up here in the electrical lab today. This is where if you go the mechanical or electrical route as an apprentice, you'll come through up here and start working on projects that are more focused towards the electrical path. Right here, we have our factory simulation. This is going to take parts from our fake storage area over here, and it's going to move them through various processes. until we get to the end. And that looks a little something like this. All of this was programmed by second-year apprentices. We didn't have any outside help aside from our instructor, who answered various questions that we had. So every process that we just saw came as a blank slate at first, and then we programmed it on the computer here. We have it hooked up to various devices underneath the table. And once we go through, we spend roughly 2 to 3 weeks programming all of these various components, such as the motors, some lights, as well as some air tubes for what was picking up the parts. And we program that all together into one big file until the end result becomes something like this. There's always complexity that can be added to it, but this is the main feature that should be able to be done, and it can be done repeatably and very well at the same time. So if you want, we're going to move over here to this cell now. And this is our Fanuc robot arm. You can use this in a variety of ways. Out on the actual floor, we have customers that will request specific robots that can do specific things. Here, what it does is it normally picks things up and takes them around this big track, but we've shortened things down to give more of a basic demonstration. And everything can be controlled via this panel here. So if I want to, I can jog to the left and the right. I can go up and down, and I can go in and out. Again, all of this is programmed by apprentices here at GROB. This came to us as a blank slate, and then we took in all of the resources that we learned over the years being built up from our supervisors, and we transfer it to what we do out on the floor eventually, which starts here as just basic training exercises. All of this, from the programming to the wiring itself to the screws down to every last single nut and bolt, is done by the apprentices up here in this lab. And as we transition out onto the floor, a lot of these skills are going to be kept with us, and we're going to use them every day in our workplace areas. So thanks for joining us on our tour today. If you guys want to learn any more information, you can go to www.grobsystems.com/apprentice.
Okay. I'm just going to address some of the questions that we've seen a lot of through the video and everything. One of the main questions we've been seeing is in reference to age coming into the program, whether that be on the young side coming straight out of high school and not being 18 yet, or being what we would consider a non-traditional and being someone who's been in school life or just, farther along in their life and looking to start a new career. We do require that you have a high school diploma and you are a graduate of high school to start. That does not mean that you have to be 18 when you begin the program. We do have some kids that have started at age 17 and turn 18 shortly after starting, but we cannot bring somebody in who is an early graduate of high school that's not going to be turning 18 within the first few months of their employment. That goes on with just liability issues and being able to run machinery and everything else. The other side of the coin is the non-traditional. That would be somebody who's working somewhere else, been out of school for a few years and whatever else. We do not do any of our hiring based specifically on age. If you're older and you bring in experience into the program that we're looking for, that's great. To be quite frank though, one of the things that is a disadvantage to someone who is a non-traditional coming in, you still have to go and take the college placement classes at Rhodes and everything else. And the high school graduating kids and the high school seniors who are taking those tests have an advantage over a school of life person who is farther along, because they are using the math and everything else currently in their high school studies. So they have the advantage of it being fresh in their minds. So if you're able to do all of this stuff and get in and do all of that, that's great. We don't discriminate based upon your age. but you are in a competition, and we are selecting the best upon scores, upon resumes, and everything else. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands we don't really care how old you are. We're looking for the best people for our program.
If anybody has any questions at this time, feel free to send that in the chat. We will also be able to answer any questions you have after this has ended. If you think of anything, don't hesitate to contact us. We have an apprenticeship email that you can email. It comes to all 5 of us, and that's apprentice@grobsystems.com. I also invite you guys to follow us on our social media accounts if you haven't already. That way you can stay up to date on all things GROB. We post quite often about different things the company is doing, as well as deadlines for the apprenticeship and various projects that the apprentices work on. So that is a very big thing. And I'd also encourage you, like Evan said earlier, to check out our YouTube channel and see some of our machines in action.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap up the voice chat or voice us talking version of this right now. We're going to leave this slide up here for you guys to be able to gather any information for us as far as our social medias and email. And we're going to go ahead and stay online on the chat for a few more minutes, and we'll answer any further questions that anybody has. But I would like to thank everybody for attending this, for being patient with us through the audio problems that we had. Thanks for helping us out with getting out of that, pointing out where we were at and everything else. And I'd just like to say thank you for your time for the day, and we'll be very interested in seeing some of you on tours and hearing from you in the application process. Again, just thank you very much for your time.
One other thing to note before we mute ourselves here is about an hour after this event, you should be receiving an email that will include a recording of this webinar today. So if you'd like to show it again, or you have somebody you think might be interested in learning more about the program and you want to show this to them, you will be able to do so through there. So that should be coming into your inboxes shortly. But thank you again, and we will look forward to hearing from you.